We are out here for round 5 of TX2 at DOMO Club. It's very rocky out here. About 60 degrees yesterday. Today it's gonna be 35 during race. Last race my son did the commentary. It was pretty funny. Click up here to see that. This race I'm gonna do the commentary, and I'm sure I won't be as funny as him, but I'll try to be entertaining. So let's go to the start line. So as you can see, there's a little bit different start procedure for this race. And so what we've normally been doing is starting hand up in the air, or they've all been warm engine starts or hot starts. But for this race, they decided to change it up, and we start standing next to the bike. So we've never done that before. It was kind of fun. So they combined our class with the 20-year-old bikes, which is the TX2K. And I don't know if you can tell, but everybody's bundled up. It's 35 degrees out. I get a great jump, but then I stall it right here. So I had put these hand warmers on because it's 35 degrees, and last year I did a race in 27 degrees and my hands froze. I couldn't complete the first lap. So I put these they're not warmers, they're just, insulators. But I couldn't get my thumb over to restart because the amount of space in there is so tight. And I finally jammed my thumb over there and got it restarted. So I think I'm in 3rd place now, 3rd or 4th. I wasn't keeping track. But I'm just trying to keep pace with these guys, because last race I held 1st place for like a minute. And I just bombed that turn. I was thinking about getting on the throttle coming out of that, but I forgot to lean the bike and I blew the corner. So there goes Craig, and then Brad just passed me. Brad almost wiped himself out there, but so I stayed with Brad for a second, but he gets on the throttle so much quicker than I do coming out of the turns, and I noticed that. So he's already got 30 bike lengths on me, in 2 turns. I'm really trying to push, really trying to keep up with these guys. You can see my shadow, you can see it on some of the angles when I stand up. I'm really trying to get forward on the bike, just right there, you can see it. Head over the number plate. Yeah, I almost wiped out there. Just grabbed a fistful of throttle coming out of that turn. But when I stand and I'm accelerating, I'm really trying to get forward, and I actually really like it. It takes so much pressure off your hands. Your hands don't feel you don't feel like you're getting pulled on the bike. You feel more in control because your arms are more on top of the bars. I still need to get my elbows up though, that's for sure. But I'm really proud of the way I rode. I've been doing exactly what I've been practicing, dropping down in a second, going into a turn, sitting down, coming up to 3rd, coming out of the turn, and immediately when you start getting into bumps and everything, standing up on the bike. So that's what I've been practicing, and I executed really well. I'm still slowing down a little too much in these types of turns. I need to maintain speed. It's just that I really don't trust the bike that it's gonna stick, right? So this is a couple minutes, 3 or 4 minutes after those guys passed me, and I caught back up to them. So the guy directly in front of me here is not in my class, but the guy 2 riders in front of me is in my class. About to come up on this hard line. This doesn't look that steep on the camera, but you really drop. You can hear I stalled it. It is just really steep, and there's ledges, so you're going ka-dunk, ka-dunk, ka-dunk. And I pulled the clutch in, but I'm just having clutch issues right now. My clutch, not fully disengaging the plates when I pull the lever in. works okay, but it doesn't work 100% of the time. So now I got these two guys in front of me that are not in my class, and see, I tried to show a wheel there on the inside to get around them, but it wasn't aggressive enough. Come on. I'm getting impatient. It's me saying, come on. But watch, I'll get him once we open up here. Give him a little woo! Let him know I'm there. Yeah, these two guys are not in my class either, so I'm trying to get by them to get back up to the guys that are in my class. This is a lot more aggressive than I've ever ridden before, too. Alright, so this hill coming up to the left here is crazy. It's steep and it's really rocky. So once you get into the rocks, watch the front suspension right here. Those rocks were sharp. They had edges to them too, so you just feel like pound, 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 and you just hope you don't get a pinch flat. So the guy in 4th place in my class, I said I can still see him from here, so he's only about 10-15 seconds in front of me. But Craig really doesn't hold back on open sections like this. He does full send. He's on 125 and he's in 5th gear. Full send. Me, yeah, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna go that die hard full send on those sections. Now this is pretty steep downhill. So in the practice lap, I saw there was this smoother line over to the right. And so we're in Moto 1 right now, but in Moto 2, I noticed that the main line, the left line, this is where I fall right here. So I just hit that bank on the other side and did kind of just a 180. So there's any chance of catching those guys. But I got back up fairly quickly, but yeah, I'm not going to catch them now.
I can't believe I did that.
Yeah, so in Moto 2, I realized that line over to the left on that steep downhill was smooth, so I started taking it. Here's another steep uphill. It's got some loose rocks, like some softball-sized rocks, but not the sharp, buried rocks that the other one had.
Yeah.
That was just a horrible corner there. Just can't compete for the podium doing corners like that. And then I got into the loose rocks there and almost dropped it, so I'm kind of lucky I didn't compound the creek bed mistake with more mistakes, but definitely I'm not riding my best right now. Got to stand up on this one too, like you just get jarred if you're sitting down. So that's one lap, it's like a 9-minute lap. This guy, we go back and forth. You're not in my class, but we go back and forth, like, he passes me a couple times this race. With my friends Greg and Toby, so I gave him a little rev. Alright, so in between the two motos, I saw there was a zipper on these hand warmers, and so it opened up the space a little bit more. I had freer movement on my thumb to hit the restart button. But I wore regular moto gloves for this race and was not cold at all. Last year when I did the 27 degrees, I had the Fox winter gloves. I don't know what they're called, but my hands froze and I couldn't squeeze the levers for the clutch or the brake. Finally, I'm like, I'm gonna hurt myself. I gotta drop out. Executed that turn much better on lap 2 there. So I'm in third gear there. I have it wide open, or I have the throttle pinned. But you could hear me as soon as I got up to started revving higher, I let off. I think I could have held on to it a little bit longer. I was doing so well on braking this day as well. A lot of chain chatter on the brake, which means I got the front and rear brakes synced up pretty well, and only 1 or 2 stalls I think in the corner. Got to get on that throttle earlier. You can see it. It's so plainly obvious there. Here, got to get on the throttle earlier. I stalled in this corner one of the laps. I can't remember which lap it was. I almost landed the front tire on that huge rock. Like that was pretty scary because you're in the middle. You're in air and you can't go anywhere. You can't. Yeah, so that guy, he keeps passing me and then like he's pulled over or stalled and I pass him back. So I got up into third gear, right there, the revs start increasing. I'm heading up to like 10,000 RPMs and then I let off the throttle. I gotta bury that bike deep into the corner, like just more aggressive braking. You can really open it up here. This is third gear wide open as soon as it straightens up after this power line. Gotta get more aggressive in these chicane style turns though. Okay, so this little downhill that's coming up, it's tricky. I think I stalled it a couple times on it. And it just gets real steep right at the end, and you got to turn left too. And then there's one time where a guy wrecked right in front of me. I can't remember if that was Moto 1 or Moto 2, but I had to go around him while going down the hill, and my bike was stalled. Oh, stalled it again. But I actually popped the clutch to restart it there. Pretty easy to do when you're in second gear. Yeah, that was really weird. A branch had gotten knocked over in the preferred line, but it was a huge branch. It was like one long branch with all these like thorny looking things, and I just didn't feel like going in there and getting snagged. Okay, so on the 4th lap, coming through here and I hear a bike coming up behind me. We drag race to this corner.
Nice.
Happened here this lap like too, but I was much more aggressive on the 4th lap.
Yeah, great.
If a guy passes me nice like that, I'll just compliment him in the middle of the race. I'll be like, nice. Everybody likes good racing, right? That's why we're out here having fun. So if somebody's gonna do a nice move like that, then compliment them. So sometimes I left it in third or second gear on that straight. Sometimes I popped it up to third. I think it just depended on what kind of mood I was in. Now, I took this hill in second gear every single time, and then I was hearing from some A riders like, oh, you should go up to third. And those rocks will be a lot smoother because of the way it reacts to your chain or something like that. I didn't understand the technical nature of it, but apparently if you're in the rocks and you go up a gear, it's a much more planted experience, and you're not getting jarred all over the place as much. But I am going up a hill on a 4-stroke, so there is the fear of stalling. Like in this section, I could go up a gear. I'm in 3rd gear here. I could have gone up to 4th, and I'll remember that next time. But going up the hill, I don't know if I want to do that. And then I pop it down in a second, going down this hill here. It doesn't look that steep on the camera, but it is. You can hear the engine idling. It's steep. So this little hill here, I saw a guy doing it sitting down. I don't know. It just seems like something you would want to stand up for. I just feel more comfortable standing up on it. Oh, see, there's that guy again. Pulled over. That's number 2. And then I think one more time we pass each other. He's faster than me. He just keeps pulling over for some reason. We had 6 people in our class this race, and no, 5 people in this class. I'm in 5th place now. We were supposed to have 7. A couple of our guys showed up the night before, and this is one of the only locations where there's an actual facility at the place, not just somebody's private land. So like, it's not a ranch. Buildings here, and there's a bar in one of them, so like a couple of guys in our class stayed up way too late drinking way too much, and they couldn't make the race. Like all they had to do was ride around in 1st gear and collect points, but they couldn't even do that safely. So good call for them. But yeah, that meant like I'm automatically getting 5th place for just starting, which I think is 16 points in our series. So I'll get 16 points for this. It's gonna put me definitely in the top 5 of the series. I think we got like 12 or 13 guys in our class. So all I gotta do is keep making races and keep getting top 5s, and I may be able to sneak into the, top 3 or 4 for the series. That'd be fun. Let's see if I can nail this exit here. I think I could have gotten on the throttle sooner. What do you think? Yeah. You can see me shift my weight to the back for the braking there. Took a lesson at Dirt Lab coaching, and they really hammered that. Like if you don't get your weight back, there's some good chain chatter, but if you don't get your weight back, it's not going to do it right, and you're going to stall the rear wheel once you start getting on that rear brake. I said stall the rear wheel? Stall the engine. There's some good chain chatter. But I'm definitely being more aggressive coming out of these corners. I still think I have room for improvement. One of the things that I need to work on is as I'm sitting down, like going into the corner, so right here, I'll sit down. I need to get on, I need to roll slightly under the throttle as I sit. So like make that one motion, sitting and rolling under the throttle, just so the rear tire starts to hook up. Especially in ruts, like, and I was taught like if I'm gonna go into rut, so if you're gonna try to lean the bike at all in the rut and you don't have any throttle, that's when you fall to the inside a lot. So right now I know I'm in last. I'm just practicing the things I know I should do. Like practice really good braking going into corners, practice standing up, practice leaning over the front, number plate. You can see I got really good standing position there. I don't have my elbows up, but everything else looks good. I'm actually standing up for these turns as well and weighting the outside of the peg. So Chris Birch from New Zealand, he's a coach. He's got this great video on standing turns where he teaches you to, I think this is the guy that stalls right here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I stalled too. He's okay. You can't see him on the camera, but he's getting up, taking his bike up. So yeah, just getting your weight on the outside peg, driving your knee into the shroud, and getting your hips to the outside of the turn are all three things that I've been practicing on standing turns. So I'm not sure what happened here. It looks like this bike must have stalled or something. But doing those three things in the turns has really helped. God, Chris, another freaking stall. This was a hard hill. Like, it was. Luckily, it was steep enough that when your bike stalls, you keep going down the hill and you don't just fall over. Like, it was steep. So just really doing those standing turns, practicing them has helped me during a race, because I don't have to like sit back down for those chicane style turns. Like in this like single track style like this, I can just stay standing and getting my weight on the outside peg, driving my knee into the shroud just helps those tires grip on the turns, because you really don't want the tires sliding out, especially while you're standing. But I think making sure there's weight on the front wheel as well helps there too, so the front wheel doesn't slide out. I think we had some like B rider start on the first row, like 55B or something. I think he was one. It's coming around to pass me. I'll just leave it in a second right here. Listen to that. I was just thinking, hey, I'm gonna have to downshift anyway at the end of the straight. Might as well just leave it in second. Bam, 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 bam. Like, your arms are just working like this, going up that hill. Like, it's just crazy. And the suspension was working too. Like, so I have the air forks, but I have them pretty plush where the travel goes almost all the way down to the bottom, and so those forks are working, but like you can still feel it even though the suspension's working. Okay, so yeah, I think I should have gone up to fourth gear here and just tried to get more speed. If there were no rocks, you could definitely fly through this section, but with rocks, you just get this feeling that maybe I shouldn't go all out. Maybe I should hold back just a little bit. Because all it takes is one deflection on that front tire. There's that guy again on the couch. All it takes is one deflection on the front tire, and you're just going somewhere. Going left, right, over the bars, wherever. But no one wants that. So I know some people ride like where they just have all that blocked out and they're not thinking about it at all, and they're just big boy riding, guns blazing. I can't do it. Off camber left hand turn right before the hill, so that was fun. So we had a lot of rocks at our first round in this series. This is a brand new series, by the way, but we had a lot of rocks in the first round. But they were all loose. All the rocks were loose. None of them were buried. And the dirt was loose too. The rocks were loose. And you just felt like, am I going to get any traction here? That was sketchy. Like, that round was sketchy. So I enjoyed this one much more. Like, where I normally ride, a lot of people don't like the rocks, but where I normally ride, about half the time there's a lot of rocks, so I don't mind them. Like right here, I don't mind this, as long as they're not going to move out in front from underneath me. Like if I see like a softball or a cantaloupe or something, I'm gonna definitely try to avoid that. I don't want any part of that. There's some softballs going right through scoring here too. Alright, so one more lap. And then we'll have a 45-minute break, and then Moto 2 will come up. So the other hare scramble series that we race is 70-minute races, just continuous. But this one is a little bit different. It's two 30-minute motos for us. And then the AB riders, it's two 35-minute motos. I kind of like it. You just go all out for 30 minutes. You don't have to worry about getting tired or conserving it at all. You just go, you take a break, you recuperate, you recover, and then you just go again. I don't know where that water came from. It was dry. So I'm doing well. I just think I can accelerate sooner. I can definitely take this corner like coming out wider inside and then wide again. So angles going to the quarter definitely could improve. And this one, I'm hugging the way inside on this one too. So I'm really just focusing on technique 100%. I'm not even thinking about line selection at all. Which is probably one of the reasons why I'm in 5th here. That was fun. The pros were getting so much air on that. It's still fun to hit a jump like that. It's so hard to watch this. You're like, man, you could go faster. But then when you're doing it, you're like, man, this is fast. But watching it, because, you know, I watch a lot of videos like, who do I watch? Jesse Ansley, Ride with the Knights, that's Josh Knight. Like, they're like pro riders, right? And they're just going so fast. I think I stalled it almost every time on this thing. So when I watch my videos, I'm like, man, I'm going slow. Should have just passed that guy on the right. I don't know why I did that. There were some rocks, and then there weren't any rocks. I could have just gone right around them. Okay, let's see if I can not stall this time on the hard line. Look at that! Look at that! So by the 4th lap, that line was on the right there. It was smoothing out, and I saw it all smoothed out, and I was like, hey, I could just let the bike roll down this. So that's what I did, and I carried so much more speed. Okay, so this is where we start drag racing. I can hear a guy, as soon as I open it up, I can hear a guy behind me, and he's coming. So I try to brake as late as I can going into this corner.
Damn, that was nice. Who was that?
But he had the inside line. I don't know why I gave up the inside like that. Yeah, I said, damn, that was nice. Who was that? And I looked at the video. I still can't figure out who it is. I can't tell the number. But he just got to the inside, and he, I guess, broke a little bit later. And that was just a sweet pass going into that turn. I gotta applaud that guy, yeah, that was good. Alright, so we're coming up to the finish line here, and we're gonna go take a break and go into Moto 2. I think that was about as fast as I've ever ridden. I was doing all the things that I've been practicing. Some of those sections that are really sketchy, where you feel like you're gonna really hurt yourself, have smoothed out a little bit, so it should be fun for Moto 2. Let's go do it. All right, we are back for Moto 2. You can see me with the white arrow above my head. I'm gonna try to get a much better start this time. Brad gets an amazing start. And there's me, I take second on the start. So I forgot to start my GoPro. So we're gonna watch my friend Craig's footage for a little bit until I remember to start my GoPro. You can see me, the white arrow, it's the red, white, and blue kit. So Craig, it's on a 125, a YZ125, so you're gonna hear a lot of shifting for just about a minute or so. We go into the woods here, we're gonna come out of the woods. I get a great jump out of the woods on Moto 2, but Leland on that Kawasaki right behind me is on a 450 and just flies right by me. Nothing I can do about it. So I think that puts me in third. So you can see I got two guys behind me. I'm gonna try to keep them behind me. Should do a pretty good job for a few turns here. Craig's GoPro is a little bit bouncier than mine, so it's hard for me to see, but now I got through those couple tight turns, and now I'm back up on the pegs. Yeah, these guys are getting a little impatient with me, you can tell. Alright. Little tight turn here. I think one of them's going to scoop by me on the inside, yeah. And then the next turn, this guy in the black is going to take a real aggressive line. That just leaves Craig behind me. Now watch, Craig's gonna come up on the left. I almost wreck here because I get pushed out into those loose rocks on the right, and my bars just go like that. That was pretty scary. Alright, so we're down in one of the creek sections here. This is where I remember, oh shoot, I forgot to turn my GoPro on. So I was yelling at it, GoPro turn on! GoPro stop recording, GoPro start recording. I just couldn't get it right, and finally I just said screw it, I'm gonna stop and turn it on. I'm glad I did. This is pretty good footage. I was going about 5 to 10 seconds per lap faster in Moto 2, so definitely glad I got the footage. I think that's pretty natural. You figure out the course, right? You are more comfortable with the course. You know where the acceleration points. So there's a ribbon down there that I saw. So I think the next lap I start taking that. Terry doesn't like when you cut the course, but if the ribbon's down, everybody's going to start cutting it. Oh, that was a pretty bad turn. I think that's one of the 55B guys that passed me. Another stall. It's just those downhills that get me. I don't know why. Oh yeah, so this guy was the one who was sitting up that little hill. I just couldn't imagine doing that. I don't think it would feel comfortable. There, you can see my shadow there. I'm really trying to be aggressive through those turns. Lots of things going on there. So first of all, I stalled it in the turn. Second of all, I'm trying to start it in third gear. And third, my clutch isn't fully engaging. It's only like 75% engaging. So like I guess it's not fully separating the friction plates. Like gotta take it apart and try to figure out what the problem there is. I replaced it because it was giving me problems. I think that some of the steels were warped, so I put new friction plates and steels in, and it just doesn't feel right. Did everything like you're supposed to, so I gotta just open it back up and see what I did wrong. See if I can figure out what I did wrong. So that was weird because I pulled the front.
Slow down as much as I thought I would.
Pulled the front brake and the bike didn't really grab as much as I thought it would or should. Blew that corner. But as the race goes on here in Moto 2, I'm definitely getting faster through this little section. Of course, I can't really catch up to everybody. I have to start out staying with them. This is just so much steeper than it looks on camera. It's just rolling through there at idle speed. So the following weekend, the ATVs and the side-by-sides are going to race. I don't know if they're going to go down this section, but some of those creek beds are wide enough for them, and I mean, this should be fun. This is a fun place. It was a short course too, like so 8 to 9 minute laps for me. Pros were doing like 6 minute laps, but normally our lap times are quite a bit longer than that. Let's see if I can nail this turn here. I just had trouble braking into that one. I think maybe because it was a right-hand turn or something. Didn't get quite as good of like any type of chain shot or anything that I normally get. Play dodgeball or hopefully not pinball with those huge watermelon-sized rocks. I don't want to mess with those. Left it in second again. Just let it rev. I think I could take that turn faster, but the dirt's so loose. Like, you just feel like the back end's gonna slide out as soon as you grab any throttle. I think I just need to not slow down as much. So there's an enduro up in Northwest Texas this weekend. And I think it's a restart format enduro. Oh, so I finally took this line. It wasn't that bad. It's still steep though. So I'm thinking about, I'm still on the fence whether I'm gonna go out and do that enduro.
Oh shit.
Bike will not start in second gear. I'm gonna go down into first. Yeah, so that should be fun. So stay tuned. There'll probably be some, if I end up going, I'll probably put some videos out for that enduro. I really got to get this clutch issue figured out first. I actually don't use the clutch a whole lot. Like, I don't use the clutch to shift. Bike actually shifts real smooth without the clutch. And I do use it like if I get into a tight section and I think the bike might stall or something like that. I'll use the clutch then. I don't use it a whole lot. And And I was using a lot of those downhills in this race, but I guess it just wasn't disengaging the plates. Hence all the stalls. I don't normally stall this much. But I've watched some videos of this enduro coming up. It looks like a lot of fun. And it's one of those that you want to do once. It's a long drive though. That's actually probably the longest I've held onto the throttle. That was good. Start from the outside to inside to outside, so that was a good line on that turn. This was some good sections. I drift a little bit outside before that turn too. Yeah, I'm starting to figure it out. Of course, this is lap 7 of 8. I mean, if you put the two motos together, so figuring it out, like, that's after 2 practice laps as well, but it took me quite a while. Carried some good speed through that corner, and then just didn't feel like I was going to be able to stay on that berm, so I slowed it down. Wish I had my watch on to see how fast I was going in that section. That was probably one of the longest open sections. For some reason I lost my watch. Can't find it anywhere. So I have no GPS on it. Yeah, I've definitely taken this section a lot faster than I did in Moto 1 too. Then you get to this shit. There's roots there, and you don't feel comfortable at all through here. Then you got to go through this downhill, which you stall on almost every lap. This is getting old. Ooh, that was a little squirrely. Ooh, those are just uneasy feelings. Oh, Chris cutting the course. The ribbon was down, and it's going on the internet. Uh-oh. I don't normally cut the course, but if I see the ribbons down and then I see the path is worn, like everybody's doing it, I'm like, well, might as well, right? Like, everybody's doing it. If we're gonna start DQing people, everybody's DQ'd. One more lap. Still pushing though. Ooh, that was nice. You know that warm feeling you get when you have your first sip of coffee in the morning? You're like, get that same feeling when I hear that chain chatter. Just like, I know I'm doing something right. It's a good feeling inside. That was fast. What am I doing? What am I doing? It's not a half pipe over there. I don't know what that was. I stalled it in the middle of a straight. That was crazy. Alright, stay over to the right where it's smooth. There you go. Avoid that watermelon at the bottom of the hill there. That thing was like humongous. And it's right in your line too. Alright, I think we're gonna get the checker flag here. Yep, I see it waving. Woo! That was fun. That was a fun race. So you notice there's no sound here. I recorded this great long outro when I got home, and there's just sound messed up. I don't know whether it was the truck or what, but no sound. So I guess I'll just recreate it here. It was a great race. I got off the course and I said to myself, I don't think I've ever gone this fast. I loved that place. I'm definitely going back next year. Great braking, great standing on the pegs, leaning way forward, back straight, hips out, all that stuff I was doing great. A couple things I gotta work on, the clutch, and gotta fix the clutch. I gotta hold on to the throttle longer going in the straights, and on the throttle earlier coming out of the turns, through the turns. If I can get those things, I'll be not placing 5th, I'll be 4th or 3rd. I'm sure of it. All right, thanks for watching, and stay tuned to this channel for some enduro content. Hopefully, if I don't get sick or anything, I'm probably gonna head up this weekend and do that enduro. Thanks for watching.